Welcome to another episode of the King's Court Podcast, or as we call it, the Bethesda Brothers Podcast. I am the KingFanMan, joined with my partner in crime, Joey Caps Gaming, or as I call him, Brother Joe. How are you doing, Brother Joe?
Doing well, King. How are you, man? It's been a while.
I am excited because a new video for Starfield dropped. And by the way, I have to say it. I called it on the Kingcast. I said it was going to be coming, and it came. Woo!
Woohoo!
Bow down. No, that's what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about the new video that came out. Of course, it was the Welcome to the Starfield or whatever it is, but it gave us some really good information about the game, some more cool pictures going to be playing in the background, some while this podcast is going on, so that y'all don't have to just watch our faces. I will be playing that video in the background some as well. But there's about 5 points that I want to get to in this, but it really centers around one big thing that they were talking about, and it is the immersion of the game. I think they really were going for this game, and it sounds like from the beginning of them talking about Starfield, it was about it being realistic, it being immersive. In fact, in this video, they called it a simulation. And that brought back to my mind something that Pete Hines said, and I think Todd Howard has even said this at times, that in that original trailer that we got for Starfield, where the pilot is actually starting up the spaceship, that is actually how you start up a spaceship. They got that from SpaceX when they went to Elon Musk and all that, but they are actually hitting the right switches to start up a spaceship. That's how deep immersive they went into this game. So this is not just a video game. They want a simulation. That's really cool right off the bat, and that's what they're going for, and that's what this video is about. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I have. And I know in the very beginning they mentioned about the simulation and stuff, but they also said that they've always tried to do that with their previous games. But I guess being like, Fallout, obviously this is like scientific, right? I mean, Fallout is 2, Skyrim is like medieval with magic,
Fantasy.
Fantasy, exactly. So, but I feel like they might be trying to just make this more realistic, essentially. And I like the different choices that they're giving you in the beginning of the game. I know we're going to touch upon that very shortly, but just the choices right off the bat.
Yes.
Where, you could choose how you want to start it off. And I think that's fantastic. Like Fallout 4, it's okay, I'm coming out of the vault, you killed my wife, you stole my kid, I'm coming for you.
Skyrim, Fallout, you're in the wagon. Yep.
Yeah, you're the Dragonborn. Like, you could pick your start. I think that's it's different for a BGS game, but it's just it gives you so many other options.
Yes.
And your background story.
Yeah, that was the first thing that jumped out to me. There is at least we know, I mean, they told us in the video there are at least 3 alternate starts. So there's 3 ways you can start the game, which will totally change the game, which is so cool. Yeah. So I'm at least going to have to play the game 3 times, And I had to go back to make sure these are right. I'm not this smart. I cannot remember all this. One is the United Colonies, which I guess is basically the one of the main faction in the game. And if you start this way, they said it was the idolized outlook of help me out, Joe. How did they word it? In other words, the game is, and I wanted to say this when you were talking about it anyway.
United Colonies,
you were talking about the game being realistic, and I've heard people call it NASA punk. Okay. Well, this United Colonies faction, this is kind of like if they take over, if they control it, that is the way that it should be. In other words, that's the way that everybody. It would be almost like the Empire in Star Wars, but good. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then you have another alternate start, which is the Free Star Collective. And I think me and you both agreed that we're going to
Yeah,
go for this one
yeah.
first. This is the Space
I
Cowboy.
think so.
Yeah.
I think.
Now I'm going to have to learn more about it, of course, but
Yeah.
this is the ones living on the frontier, the Space Cowboy
Yeah.
that's out there. But now remember those monsters that live at the colony that you start at. The half dinosaur, half wolf. You remember
Yeah.
those things?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other one,
man.
which they were talking about there in the interview, which they thought was the actual best way to start, was you can actually start as an employee of this huge industry. And
Yeah.
so they're totally different. I mean, completely different type starts, which, as you said, is a complete departure from a BGS game, which I think is really, really cool. Because one of the best mods that is out there I know of for Skyrim is the alternate start mod. So this is really exciting for me. Talk about immersion.
Yeah. It's funny though. It's like from watching it, and people are gonna hate me for saying this. I kind of get from day one. I've kind of gotten Fallout vibes from it, and that's natural, I think, because it's a BGS game. But that's a good thing that I'm getting Fallout vibes. Yeah, I'm just it's I can't believe it. Honestly, we're almost. I mean, we'll be in April soon. It comes out in November. Can you believe that?
No. Okay.
Time's going by so fast, so fast.
Yes.
It just seems like in general though with Starfield that they have been putting in so much work and they are taking care of it. They want this to be great. They want it to be just on a different level than anybody else. Like it doesn't then different than Cyberpunk, different than Red Dead. Like they want this to be different and very impactful. And I think how it sounds, I mean, this is all marketing too. Yes. Don't get fooled. It's all marketing. But how they're making it sound, we should be really excited. It sounds like they're going back to their roots, you know, just being a true RPG. And Starfield looks like it's going to be that.
Another segue, Joe. You're so good.
Yeah.
Back to the start of the game, though. In-depth character creation. I love character creation. Normally in the BGS games, of late anyway, it's just about making your character look the way you want. But now we go back to the real RPG of a background for your character. You get to make your character who you want it to be as far as the stats and everything. So this is really cool. You think about it, which is a mark of a true RPG. You're not told who your character is, like in Fallout. A true RPG, you get to make your character who you want it to be. So not only do you get to start the way you want, we've already established that, you're going to get to create your character the way you want it. And this goes back, if you played Morrowind or Oblivion, even Fallout New Vegas, some of those, but I believe they're even going to ramp that up even more. You're going to be setting the stats of your character. Now, we do that some in the Fallout games. You know, you set your specials before the game starts.
You always do, yeah.
But the way they're talking is this is going back even more so the way they used to. They kept saying the way we used to. And from what I understand that to mean is back when BGS made RPGs just for computer. That was before console days. that was the old, guys that really wanted to play RPGs, and it wasn't the watered down RPGs that we see today.
Yeah, I can't believe it, King, that Fallout 3 is 14 years old.
Isn't that amazing?
That's ridiculous. Right? It's 14, right? Yeah, 2008.
Yeah.
I did math right, yeah.
Before you turn around twice, you're going to be as old as I am.
Oh man, I don't want to. I mean, I'll get there. I wanna, I wanna make it, but
I
I
don't know how to take that, Joe.
don't know. Listen, Bethesda. This is just exciting, King. This is very exciting, and I think maybe let's touch upon like your skills and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So
Can I ask
in
one question real quick before you go into that?
yeah, yeah.
The only thought that I had going into this, one thing they ran into with Fallout 76, and I hate to even bring that up, but one of the reasons people didn't like Fallout 76, one of the reasons, is because it did go back to some more hardcore RPG things. Do you think they're going to get some pushback from modern audiences that have played the watered down RPGs when they go back to these more hardcore RPG elements?
Well, it all depends how they do it. Right, obviously, I mean, of course, but it all depends. Like, for example, they can't do another Fallout 4. People hated that. I think with 76, they improved it. It's just with the rep that 76 got, obviously, that
Yeah.
just overshadowed everything. But 76 improved it a bit. I think with Starfield, if they could just for me, if they could just go back to even like New Vegas, Fallout 3 style, how you set your character up, that's fine with me personally. Or even if he did the Skyrim way. But I wonder what way they're gonna go. I wonder if it's just a completely different way, different route, because it's a different franchise for them.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like I'm excited. I just hope it's not a dumbed down essentially like what you've been saying.
See, I don't think
And supposedly it won't be.
no, I
So
don't think it
that's
will be.
great, but they have to find a balance though because there are a lot of people that will not like it and that's one thing that you can't afford.
Yeah.
So they have to find a balance, which hopefully they will. And it's exciting that they've put so much heart into this game.
I will tell
It
you
really
this:
is. TLC is
there
important.
are going to be some survival aspects to this game because you look on the HUD that we've all seen pictures of.
Yeah,
You can see an oxygen meter. You can see several meters on there that you're going to have to keep track of. So you may not have to eat and sleep and do all the things that you have to do in a survival mode. But there are going to be some aspects you have to keep up with in your character to stay alive,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
obviously uh, that goes to part of the RPG and the role playing
yeah.
aspect.
I could see that also being a toggle too, though,
Well, and that's something again they got
because
pushback
hardcore
in.
mode in New Vegas was a toggle.
Yeah,
You know.
that's something they got pushback in Fallout 76, and now you can basically either ignore it or use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, again,
Yeah.
that's why I asked, do you think they'll get pushback from that? I like the survival stuff. It makes it more immersive
It's
to me.
it's it's fun, and I agree 100%. And I loved it honestly in Fallout 4 too. It was even more intense with Fallout 4. Like
Yeah.
in order to save, you had to sleep. And so you had to run and find a bed, no fast travel. That
Well,
was pretty crazy.
once you get used to it, again,
Yeah.
it's fine and it's even
Yeah.
more immersive.
Yeah. They just can't. I think personally it should be a toggle. Just like in New Vegas, hardcore mode, that was an option. You didn't have to do it. They brought it up in the very beginning of the game, but it needs to be an option. So, like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But that also makes the game replayable. So if you're like, do you know what? I want to try it. I want to try this survival mode or hardcore mode. I want to do it. Maybe. So it all depends
Yeah,
on how they do it and their execution. But I think it's gonna. I mean, it's gonna be good.
I agree.